Hello and welcome. Today's video is my part 2 to the MCU so far. I'll be going over phase 3 and how I feel it's going to go in the future. Civil War was probably one of my favorites, mostly because of the fact that they introduced Spider-Man and how they introduced Spider-Man. I thought they did a very good job with that. Especially not having to show anything about Uncle Ben, mostly because we've all seen it. They imply it, but we don't have to see it again. I also liked how they introduced Black Panther, made him seem pretty awesome. Captain America, again, definitely had the best trilogy of everyone so far, anyways, I guess. Not too much else to say about that. Doctor Strange, I really enjoyed. The visuals were fantastic, and the way he beat Dormammu was hilarious and very well done with the time loop and such. They set up Mordo, the next villain, really well. Which is one thing that I find they didn't do in a few movies this phase, but we'll get into that. The origin was done really well, and again, the visuals in that movie were fantastic. That's one of my favorite things about the movie. But that's it. So on to the next. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I was excited for this movie, especially because I liked the first one and I just watched it for the first time not too long before I watched this. And then I hated it. I really do. I do not like Guardians 2 at all. I could barely get through the first few minutes of Baby Groot just dancing. I didn't enjoy that anyways. And I don't know, I found none of the comedy really landed for me anyways. I felt a lot of it felt like they were just pushing comedy in just for comedy's sake, which I didn't like that. I don't know. It just I feel like when you do that, it takes any urgency or emotion out of any crucial scenes, you know? So I felt like it takes those connections away when it's just stupid gag after stupid gag. I know it's a comedy, but comedy still can have regular, I don't know. I didn't like it. Let's move on to the next movie. So it might have had a sour taste after Guardians 2, but Spider-Man Homecoming definitely saved that. Tom Holland is a fantastic Peter. I really like that they actually did him in high school and had him actually trying to learn how to use his powers instead of just, especially the Amazing Spider-Man. I felt like they should have quickly, if they were going to do the high school thing, quickly graze through that. I feel like he would have been a much better older Spider-Man. Wrong movie. Tom Holland I like that they did the him learning his powers, and his suit is amazing. I like that it was kind of made by Tony. That was kind of a cool kind of spin to it. And again, they didn't show Uncle Ben passing, but they kind of implied it. You know, it's there. But yeah, it's probably definitely in my top 5 favorites in the MCU. Thor Ragnarok is the only Thor solo movie I enjoyed. I felt they actually kind of gave him a bit of a personality finally. And I guess the Hulk being in it kind of helped. And I don't know, the way they marketed it was way better too. And at this point I was a little bit more invested in the MCU, which is kind of why I gave it more way more of a chance than I did Dark World. But then again, Dark World sucked, or that's what I heard, anyways. And I heard a lot of good things about Thor Ragnarok. So, take that how you will. I enjoyed it. I don't know how I feel about the next one, but well, later. Black Panther, I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on. I thought it was okay. I didn't really like the final fight between Killmonger and Black Panther. Couldn't even see what was going on. Wakanda was cool, and like there were some pretty cool things that they did with the Wakanda thing stuff, but other than that, I found it boring. That's all I have to say with that one. I loved Infinity War. I thought it was incredibly well done. They brought all the characters together really well, and I liked how they weren't all together, but they all fought Thanos, and then they failed in the end. I kind of loved that they did that. I didn't actually think they would do the snap. But yeah, then it was a year of how in the hell are they gonna fix that? I mean, in the end, it all was obviously gonna all work out, but it was they even with the marketing they tricked us a lot with the marketing, and they did really well keeping spoilers away and keeping everything on the low. Yeah, that's that. Ant-Man and the Wasp is like Ant-Man. I still haven't watched it, and I don't even know why. I mean, I do kind of know why. I want to watch the first one before I watch this one, and I haven't watched the first one, but I don't know why. I just haven't gotten around to it. I just don't really watch movies all that often, I guess. I don't know. Captain Marvel was another that I just found meh. I found this and Black Panther both didn't really entice me to want to continue following them. You know? I don't feel like the movie had its moments, It had some decent moments, but overall it was boring. She was boring. Everything, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of this one. Endgame was amazing. It's definitely my favorite in the MCU. Going 5 years into the future after the snap was definitely the right call, I think. Because then it was able to show how everyone coped with half of the population being wiped away. I also thought the way they did the time travel was pretty cool, and how it kind of paid homage to old moments that were really good in other movies, you know? And then uh, Iron Man dying, I thought was a really good way to kind of send off Robert Downey Jr., you know? Uh, I think the only thing I didn't really like about Endgame was Captain Marvel. The way she just kind of showed up, and just the way she said that she was gonna go kill. I just found her so bitchy, and I don't know. I was actually kind of glad she didn't get much screen time in Endgame because she was just a bitch, and I don't understand what happened between. I mean, yeah, she was kind of a bitch in her first one, but she wasn't that bad. In Endgame, she was just so. I couldn't stand her in the movie. I was glad that she didn't have much screen time, actually. I mean, other than that, I loved everything else about the movie, just not her, I guess. Spider-Man: Far From Home, I really enjoyed. I thought they did Mysterio really, really well with the drones and him betraying Spider-Man. I thought that was I thought that was awesome. I've always loved Mysterio. I used to watch, the old 90s cartoon, and he was always one of my favorite villains when mostly because yeah, it was all special effects. It was never nothing was ever real. And I liked that it seemed like he had like magic, like almost like Doctor Strange's, but he didn't. It was all the drones and showmanship. And Jake Gyllenhaal did a really good job with that too. Um, the only thing I didn't like, and it kind of put me off of wanting to continue, was that at the very end, in the end credit scene, I don't understand why they had to expose Peter as Spider-Man. Like, and make him a fugitive. I just really didn't like. He spent, actually, especially because in my experience, Spider-Man's always been pretty good at keeping his mask on and his identity under wraps. And I don't know. I feel like it wasn't the greatest move, I guess. But I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So moving forward, I don't know how interested I am in the MCU anymore. I mean, Doctor Strange is the only movie that I'm remotely interested in. I mean, Shang-Chi looks interesting, I guess, but I need to look into that a little bit more. I haven't really looked into it. Spider-Man, I guess I'll see that when it comes out too, but like I said, I don't like that they revealed his identity. Um, Black Widow seems okay, but I haven't seen like any marketing for that one at all. I I don't know when it comes out or if it's out. Um, Thor it sounds like they're bringing back Natalie Portman to take over as Thor, and I don't understand why. She looked like she didn't want to be there in the first one. Why make her? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm probably wrong. I mean, I haven't even really seen anything other than the poster. But yeah. Um, I also don't really like that they're uh doing as much as they are on Disney Plus. I did enjoy like Daredevil and stuff, but it wasn't directly connected. I feel like they might start directly connecting their Disney Plus shows to their movies, and I feel like that's a good way to burn out an audience. But then again, are we really gonna get bored? I mean, eventually, probably. Probably. I mean, I'll admit, I might be bored with the Marvel movies at this point. After all the Infinity War Endgame stuff, I think maybe it is good to tone it back and figure themselves out while they go forward. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the MCU so far. So thank you for watching. Uh, if you liked the video, press that like button. If you hit dislike if you disliked it. Subscribe if you want more. Comment if you have any other opinions. And I'll see you in the next one.